Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know that I am like a day late and a dollar short with this video. It is coming out pretty late. It's my fault and I have two reasons. Number one, I have been working my second job Monday through Friday, which is not the norm. Usually I have like a break during the week so I can film and edit, and that did not happen. And number two, I have been binging a show, and so I've kind of been distracted by that as well. But it's mostly number one because, like, when you're coming off of a job and it's late at night, late-ish in the afternoon and stuff, like in the evening, I should say, I had no energy to film, edit, any of that stuff, so it fell by the wayside. I had all my notes, I watched the shows, I just didn't have the energy to do this. But it's also the show. It's this show called Cold Case that used to come on. I have been thinking about this show for like the longest time, and they put it on HBO Max, and so I have been binging, that show. So, apologies for the lateness, but I am here. So, we are talking about Seek and Sister Wife, Season 3, Episode 12, the season finale. I don't know if the season finale. It's called One Nation. And it only focused on two couples. But before I dive into it, like this video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I have recapped other episodes. They will be in the eye, they will be down below, they will be in my TLC playlist. Be sure to check them out. Yeah, the glow on my forehead is like distracting, but I'm also like proud of myself for having that amount of glow. Anyway, so let's jump into it. Also, a little forehead friend. Let's jump right into it. One Nation. It only focused on two couples, the Snowdens and the Merrifields. Like I thought last week, I felt like everyone is doing their exit interview, and they did. So yeah, only focused on, I guess, two controversial couples. I feel like the most controversial couples or families on the show is who the last episode was about. So like I said, I was talking to a friend about it, and I was like, I really wish that we had like some kind of reunion show, some kind of follow-up, that way we can see where everyone is now, because while it ends, it's like it seemed like, I don't know. Anyway, let me stop rambling. I've been rambling for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's hop into it. The Merrifield. So, it has been 8 months since Danielle and Garrick met Bert, and they, as you remember in the last episode, they are traveling down there because they are trying to get Bert pregnant, because COVID happened, because the visa process is taking longer than usual. Garrick and Bert, mostly because of her age apparently, want to have a baby. They haven't really thought it through because there are some lingering questions, like what if she has the baby or gets pregnant, whatever, the whole pregnancy, and she still doesn't have a visa? Like, what are you going to do if she has to have a baby in Brazil? It's just a lot of questions. It's a lot of jumping the gun, not thinking with this, you know what I'm saying? Thinking with that. And so, yeah. Anyway, so they planned this whole trip around Bert's ovulation cycle, which I get it. It's still a little bit creepy, especially since the entire fam bam is here. Like, the in-laws are here, the kiddos are here, and they are all sharing one house. It's strange. So, Garrick did his little confessional where he talked about the passion that him and Bert might share later, a passion. And he said he felt like his father-in-law Scott would be okay with what was happening. Ew. Um, but he was a little worried about Luann's, I guess, interactions or Luann's opinions about the situation. He's like, oh, I just might have to play some music to drown out the noise. Ew, your wife and children are in the house. So is your in-laws. Like, nasty. Anyway, so Bert didn't know that Scott and Luann were going. So they kind of like hid off to the kitchen. Like as soon as Bert came in, she went straight to Garrick. They hugged, they embraced for like a long minute. Wait, first of all, she kind of like embraced Danielle for 2 hot seconds, and then she saw Garrick and immediately went to Garrick, and then, eventually got. To me, it was an awkward interaction, but I get it. I get it, but it was awkward. Anyway, so she saw Scott and Luann, and Bert immediately started crying. Like, there were hugs, there were kisses. She was calling them mom and dad. Like, she was very excited to see them, which I guess was a good thing. Luann kind of said that there was like an immediate connection with Bert, which was surprising, I think, to her, because you had only really seen her on video. You had only really interacted with her like through a translator. Like, this is their first time interacting with her, and she was really surprised that there was immediately a connection. But ultimately, they are still very iffy about the situation because their whole thing is, does anyone have a plan? Like, we're flying blind here, and we're executing or attempting to execute a plan that we really have no business executing. Like, what? They're basically looking out for their daughter and their grandsons, which they should, While Garrick may be married to Danielle, their loyalty is to Danielle. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I take that back. Garrick is divorced to Danielle, so their loyalty is definitely to Danielle and their grandkids. So it got real awkward. Because that was really awkward now that I think about it. Mama Luann was talking to Danielle, asking, like, kind of mentioned, like, how are you not jealous of the situation? Cut to Bert and Garrett coming outside. Bert's taking off her top, revealing her black bikini. All of a sudden, Danielle has to take off her top, reveal her pink bikini. It was just, I'm like, was this editing that you're talking about a jealousy segment? Here comes Bert in her bikini, then Danielle has to take off and show off her bikini. It was just like, And Father Scott was over there like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, basically, Mama and Papa are like, is this the right decision? Like, are you sure about this? She says, Mama Luann was like, are you ready for this commitment? You really haven't known Bert that long. And Sam, Danielle's sister-in-law, was kind of saying the same thing. Like, you have only known Bert for a few weeks. I think up to this point, this is like their third interaction, so maybe the third week you have actually met with her, lived with her. Do you know all there is to know? You are really only getting to see vacation mode. You're only getting to see the where everything is going great. This isn't like, I don't know. You're in vacation mode. You're not really understanding real life in this type of situation. Your relationship is over text, over video, over translation. Like, it's real life, but it's not day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? And so they were kind of questioning Garrick about this. Bert is sitting there unbeknownst to her what's going on because obviously, excuse me, I have to kill a spider. Oh my gosh, it just flew away. Jeez. That's gonna be fun. Gotta find that later. I'm back. Yeah, they're having this whole conversation while Bert is sitting there and she's like none the wiser because she doesn't understand what they're saying. But Garrick's whole thing, and you know how he likes to drop these answers that are like PC answers, you know, softball answers, and he's like, even if it isn't easy, making it work, he's gonna make it work no matter the cost. And yeah, that's all good and dandy. And I think Father Scott's whole thing is that you're just saying words, like, but do you have action for those words? You're saying you're going to make it work no matter what, but how are you going to make it work? You know? He just says a lot of things. Yeah. And yeah. So they kind of showed a clip where everything is like copacetic, like everything is flowing. You know, the kids are getting along with everyone. Danielle and Garrick are getting along with Bert, and everything is great. Like at one point, Garrick is telling Scott, "Oh, you know, we're in there practicing. We're trying to make that baby," and Scott's just like, "Okay, why do you need to?" We all know what the plan is for coming down here. You don't need to express it and say it to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Okay. So basically, Father Scott just wants Garrick to know that like Danielle has made sacrifices. You know, which is true. She has. I don't know. This is like a weird position because they aren't like the Winders where it's their religion. So when you're marrying, you kind of know what you're getting into. Like that religion is not centered, but one of the primary things for the Winders is in their religion is that you have multiple wives. So then this is a different situation because they are religious, but obviously they're kind of going, I don't want to say off script, but off script a little bit. So obviously it was a shock that this is what they're doing, but it just seems like Danielle is the only one sacrificing. Like what has Garrick sacrificed in this arrangement at all? Like Danielle is the one who's having jealousy issues that we hope God will take away. Danielle is the one literally breaking down because people are lying to her. She's the one that has to see her husband go kiss and make out. Screw, wind it back. All of these vacations that they have taken to go and see Bert is centered around Garrick and Bert. Like every single vacation, he is like allowed to mess with Bert. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is this what future vacations are gonna be like for y'all? Like, this is what? Like, I get it because you haven't seen her, but it's just a little weird that like the first time you met her, what, night one or two, you got engaged, so that was like open season to do whatever, and every vacation since it's been centered around you and Bert getting it on. Is that what home life is gonna be like? So yeah, I'm sorry, I keep going on tangents because I'm in disbelief. So yeah, back to Father Scott. He's saying that Danielle has made sacrifices. He wants to make sure that Danielle won't be cast aside, second to Bert. Garrick is like, oh, yada yada yada. He's like, oh, have faith. I have faith. I have faith that everything will work out. And it's like that's great. But sometimes you need to play a part as well, you know. Sometimes you need to do something in assistance. He has no plan. He says that if Bert becomes pregnant, he'll go to Brazil for at least the birth and maybe longer. And basically, Father Scott was like, you need to man up. He's like, life is going to come at you. You know, you're all in la la land and cuckoo gaga, whatever. Is that cuckoo gaga? No, that doesn't sound goo goo. It's cuckoo gaga. Oh my gosh, I said cuckoo gaga. Anyway, he says that like life is going to kick in and you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do. You have to be able to balance Bert, Danielle, your sons, and Garrick has a business, okay? He has a construction business. As far as I know, you can't construct when you're in Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to physically be at the sites. You can, you know, have people oversee things, but in construction, you kind of got to be there to manage. So, as much as he's like, oh, I'm going to go to Brazil for XYZ, that's easier said than done. Like, get your act together, is basically what Father Scott is saying. And listen, I was all for, you know, at the beginning, I was like, I wish Danielle's sister in law was there because I feel like she was, you know, she was saying what I wanted said, basically. She was my voice of reason and I wasn't there. And then, you know, I saw the preview and I was like, oh, Father Scott and Mama Luann are gonna like stick it to Garrick. Big mistake. Because at the end, they're like, oh, we approve this. Like, we were a little worried in the beginning, but y'all seem to have it together and we definitely approve this. And I wanted to punch my screen because I was like, what? Why would you? How? You approve this? Like, you have seen that your daughter has been struggling with this from the get-go. I don't know if it's editing. I don't know if she's just putting on a farce. Your daughter's struggling and you approve it because you saw it for 5 days that it worked. You've been sucked into the vacation relationship as well. But anyway, at the end, it was told that the first part of Bert's K1 visa was approved and she just needed to go do an interview in Rio to kind of see what would happen there. And I guess if that went well, then the next part. I did not remember seeing anything flashing across the screen or anything saying an update on them or what's going on. I also don't know when this was filmed. Obviously, it was COVID. They said 8 months since they saw Bert. There was homeschooling going on, so it had to have been, I don't know if I wrote it down. I don't think I had anything like saying anything about when this was happening. Obviously, it was last year. I would say that much. Excuse me. So I don't know where they're at. I know. Let me tell you what I do know. Okay. I went on Danielle's Instagram, which I will place right here, and there are no pictures of Garrick, no pictures of Bert on that Instagram at all. I didn't even look into Garrick's Instagram to see if he even has one, but I looked at Danielle's. There are no pictures of Garrick, no pictures of Bert. There are pictures of her and her children. She did put one picture recently where she's like on a date night with my love, and it's just pictures of feet. There's no pictures of faces. And then, oddly enough, I don't know what picture it was, but someone left a comment saying that Danielle is dating someone new. So I don't know about that either. Someone had said on another, like I think it was the TLC Instagram page, that her Instagram might not have any pictures of Garrick because of the whole visa process. They want to present like they are really divorced, but I'm like, sis, you presented to the world that you are divorced. So I don't really know if not having it up on Instagram is really going to fool them. Like, it's available for the world to see that you were divorced but still living with your husband. I don't know. Like, is that going to impact the K1 visa? Who knows? Obviously, I feel like a lawyer would have advised them before going on the show. You know, if obviously they were kind of already in this process with Bert and they knew the steps that needed to be taken, it seemed like before they even got on the show. So obviously, I feel like a lawyer would have been like, I don't know if you want to do this because it may impact the K1 visa. So I don't really know. Also, I saw like The Sun, is it an online I think it's an online publication called The Sun. Like, I don't know, like, if it's entertainment, if it's I don't know, like, what genre of publication The Sun is, but they said that Garrick had bought a plot of land to build a house, and I think they said it was like 3,100 or 3,500 square feet, something like that. And that Danielle's name was on the deed as well. So it seems like they're trying to build some sort of home that all of them could live in together. So that's all I've known. I haven't really researched anything else about them. If anyone knows like what the status of, you know, Bert and Garrick are, what the status of the Merrifields are in general, please leave it down below because I am curious about that. But let me get to the Snowdens because it's already like 22 minutes. So the Snowdens. This engagement is a quick turnaround. I mean, I know people like get engaged and go to Vegas same day, but 1 week, I mean, it's COVID, so things are moving differently, but in 1 week ago, Dimitri proposed. And so, yeah. So Chrissy is excited, but she's also a little bit nervous. She's like making the US her permanent home is nerve-wracking. They're having a wedding at home, only family, and yeah, they feel, Ashley and Dimitri feel like Chrissy is equally as invested. They feel like they finally got it right, which is really awkward. Watching this back, knowing what the current status is, you know, is real awkward. So, yeah, so like I said, they were engaged for a week. Chrissy waited until a few hours before the wedding to be like, hey, I didn't tell my family yet. Surprise. Gotcha. And obviously, the Snowdens were surprised. Because she kind of did this last time where she didn't tell her family she was in a polygamous relationship until she got to the Snowdens. So, and Dimitri and Ashley were very confused because, according to them, Chrissy talked to her family every day. So for her, there was time for her to be like, hey, FYI, I'm getting married. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. What? Oh, I mixed up my stuff. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so the Snowdens. I mixed up my stuff. Anyway, the Snowdens. So, yeah. Chrissy finally gets on the phone, talks to her family. She's like, I know that this was supposed to be just a visit. It's going to be permanent. She's like, I'm getting married today. From the previews, they made it seem like the brother was going to freak out, but y'all, he was just a little upset that Dimitri didn't ask before, and Dimitri said he knows, but Dimitri was apparently planning on flying to South Africa, I guess. Maybe if COVID hadn't happened, it wouldn't have been as fast-tracked, but Dimitri said he was planning on flying to South Africa and like asking for her brother's hand in marriage in person, but obviously that couldn't happen. But yeah, her brother approves, the family approves. Like, Chrissy looked beautiful. Sorry, y'all, this ice. Chrissy looked beautiful. They had their wedding, and we got to see it, which is a surprise, but we got to see it. Sorry, this is gonna be annoying, but I just need some ice to chew. Here's what I have to say about this situation. Once again, we know the current stats. As of late, after the restraining order was dismissed by the courts, Chrissy has now filed for divorce from Dimitri. I have not heard anything else since then. We don't know. The Snowdens, at least I don't think we know the Snowden side. The Snowden side, her family side, I don't know where Chrissy is. I don't know where her girls are. Are they here? Are they back in South Africa? I don't know. Yeah. What I will say is, though, anyone else notice when the guy like pronounced them husband and wife and you may kiss the bride, is it just me or does Chrissy, I don't know, it just seemed like she was uncomfortable. Like, he was kissing her, she wasn't kissing him back type of situation. But I know that that could also be the cameras. Like, you have cameras all over, cameras in your face watching you essentially make out with someone. It can be awkward. So that could be it, but she has done it before where it's like the kissing portion just looks awkward. So that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, I mean, it could be awkward. They were like full on making out when he was like, you know, like that's always a question when you get married though. Like, how much is too much after the whole you may not kiss the bride thing? Like, is tongue acceptable? Like a couple pecks? Is it a long kiss and then a couple pecks? Is it 30 seconds? Which, oh my gosh, that seems like a lifetime. But also, people are videoing it. Like, a lot of cameras. It could have just been that, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? So, that was a quick recap. But, sorry, this is going to be bad. That pisses my brother off. But anyway, that is what happened. I don't know if there's going to be another season of this. I really don't. In the last 3 seasons, it is now 2 couples or 2 families that have been had their legal woes, I would say. The Snowdens, and then there was a couple, I believe, last season. So I don't know if, and people are calling for it to be canceled. So I don't know if it will be able to continue. Yeah, I don't know. I realized like I've been like over here in the corner the entire time, but this is my comfort level because it is 1 o'clock in the morning and I am slowly drifting off to sleep. Thank goodness my face is washed and moisturized and my teeth are brushed, because once I finish recapping Extreme Sisters, I'm going to bed. Okay, anyway, sorry. That is the end of Seeking Sister Wife, Season 3, Episode 12. What did you think of Season 3? I feel like everyone is really only talking about the Merrifields and the Snowdens in general. Yeah, they were definitely the standout people this season. What'd you think of them? Like I said, what'd you think of the season. Do you feel like it should be canceled because of what's happening with the Snowdens? I don't know. I really don't, you know. But one thing about TLC, they gonna find something to film, okay? Because they have that new show called You, Me, and My Ex, I think, coming out soon. I'm definitely gonna recap that because that looks interesting. It looks interesting. And then I saw a casting brochure for I Love a Mama's Boy. So, you know, if it works, it works. But that's the end. Let me know your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel. Okay. Bye.